pop over to Facebook. Got it. All right. Go live. It says live video is starting. I don't know if it's... All right, we're live on Facebook. That is fantastic. So now we could just say, hey, everyone. We're live.
Yep. Just got a notification that you're live.
Nice. So it
All
does
right, I'll
work
let you do your thing.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna be talking to myself, but that's okay. There's no different than any other day here. So I'll be watching the Facebook and on YouTube. If you guys got comments during this, hop on. We're live. Join us. There we go. Yeah. So David's not able to be here today. He let me know he was going to be out, and so I know that I did the last one, but this was an easy day for me to say, kind of show people. I've been talking about this for 9 months now on these calls, but I still talk to people almost every day who still don't know what we're talking about, and so I thought today would be a little more informal. If people do jump on, if you're on the Facebook live video, or if you're sitting over at YouTube and you see this, and you're running a business and you got questions about this, drop a comment. Hop into the Zoom if you want to, actually talk with us. But today I thought I would take some time and talk about Google specifically, and talking about how when someone goes to search for content, whether it's at whether they're on looking for a pizza, or they're looking for a plumber, or obviously looking for a radon professional, their probably first and last stop is to grab their phone and then just type in, on Google or on their desktop, they start typing the service that they want. If I just start typing pizza, it's probably going to autofill, and that's where Google starts typing for you. It says these are the things that other people are wanting. So it's going to autofill, pizza near me, or pizza near Bloomington Normal, or Bloomington, Illinois, where I'm at. And so those autofills are what we call local intent. So that's one of those things where Google has an idea of what you might be searching for. And so I'm just going to jump over right now into my browser so you can see, hopefully over there on YouTube, and on, there we go. Yep. On Facebook, you'll be able to see that. But when I'm searching, and when I'm on Google, and I just do, even up here, I'm going to go, pizza, and then it's going to show me, if I happen to have bookmarks, it'll have those things, but pizza near me, it's going to start showing, that local intent. And so this is just my computer I've got tracking things on here. So it's going to maybe potentially look different for some of you guys. So when someone searches for a product, or a service, I should say, or a local business, that there are multiple of those in an area, you're going to see 3 distinctly different search results. The first of those search results are up here at the very top, and those are our sponsored search results. These are going to be the ones that are being paid for by local companies who want to run ads, that they want to be, those of you who ever subscribed to a newspaper, if you ever heard the term above the fold, that's when you fold out a newspaper. What you see on the front of it, this is above the fold. This is at the very top. It's those sponsored ads. The more lucrative the click, the more expensive the ad. So, what are businesses that have really lucrative clicks? Attorneys, and then you're going to look at people who need somebody in a hurry. Plumbers, HVAC. Some of those clicks are very expensive. So the sponsored, if you've not ever run ads on Google, then you'll find out that there are certain keywords in your industry that are more expensive than others are. So if you wanted to do, again, talking about very expensive clicks, personal injury lawyer or personal injury attorney, that may be $100, $150, $200 per click. It could be very expensive, especially in larger areas, because they know that what their cost is for acquisition of a client. That once they get to a client, attorneys, they're not gonna take on the job unless they're gonna get $50,000 or $100,000 on that claim. So, or maybe it's maybe they're trying to get $25,000, so they pay a little bit less. They wait for the clicks to go through that are more expensive, because you can set a budget per day. So a lot of people ask when we get them set up with Google Ads and we're managing those Google Ads for them, then they're like, well, I don't want to spend $100 per click. I'm like, well, no, we can set a budget for those things, but it is an auction system, so you can outbid another business. So you may have another business in your area that are running ads those ads are, say, they're paying $10 per click where you're only willing to pay $5. Well, if they have a budget of $50 per day, they may spend their $50 on those first 5 clicks, and then you get the clicks that happen after that. So you're getting clicks number 6, 7, and 8, or whatever it may be, whatever your budget is. So we can get into AdWords a little deeper, but that is when we're running ads. We have some of our clients are spending $5 a day on Google Ads, and they're getting just a little bit of traffic. We have some clients that are spending $100 a day. Obviously, you're talking about a difference of $150 to $3,000 per month, but this is where we talk about, okay, well, what's your average job? If you take all of your jobs and, all of your, gross income divided by the number of jobs, I want to know what your average job is. And then, some numbers that you should know about, and, we help you work with, we're trying to help you figure out, like, what is the cost per acquisition? What is the cost per job? What is your average profit per job? But like, we need the job in the first place. So if we're looking at that gross, coming in on there, so let's say your average job is $1,500. If you were spending $3,000 a month, then yeah, you need to book 2 jobs every month just to pay for that. So that is one of those things where we want to make sure that you can get the return on your investment. And that's what we're really hoping for, is that you get those ads out there and you're getting the return. So that's Google Ads. The next thing is obviously the next thing is this local area here, and these are the local ads, and what we call the map pack. And so we call this the map pack. This is obviously, it has a map next to it, and it has in this case it has 3 businesses plus a sponsored business. You see the sponsored one, Casey's, up here at the top, and then we see 3 different businesses underneath. This is the map pack. So you're going to see this definitely if there's not any sponsors. So you may be in an area where there are no sponsored ads up here, but then the first thing that shows up is this local map pack. And this is this business here. The second one is not the closest to me. There are 2 other pizza places that are closer to me. So we're going to talk about this in a minute, but how do these number 1, 2, and 3 show up here? And it's a really big deal to be number 1, 2, and 3 on this local search, especially if you're in a more populated area where you have more competition. If I click on more places, it's going to take me to the actual map, and we're going to see now 2 sponsored businesses, and you'll see all these here. So we're ranking these down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we keep going down a little bit further. So even though I'm in the middle of town, why are some of these other places coming up closer to me than others? It is a combination of a lot of different factors that we'll look into here in a minute, but this is the local map pack. So this is number 2. If you're not spending any money on ads, you're going to want to put your time and effort into getting as high up here as you possibly can. If you are in an area that doesn't have enough business to have this local intent, then now we're getting down below there, and we are seeing the organic SEO, search engine optimization results, right? So you've heard this term forever. What is SEO? It's search engine optimization, and we want to make sure that if you're not in these top 2 places, that you're showing up absolutely number 1 right here. So this is a really big deal for you to show up in, here. So those are the 3 spots on Google that you can show up. In a perfect world, you are going to be at the top of all 3 of these for a search for multiple different keywords in your area. So in this case, Flinger's Pizza, Pizza Paella, and the original Pizziniera are numbers 1, 2, 3. But if I did, say, Pizza Bloomington, Illinois, or Bloomington Normal, those are the 2 towns. Now let's see how it shows up different. We have a little bit different on the sponsored. Down here, number 1, 2, and 3. Remember, we heard Flinger's, we saw original Pizziniera, but now Rosati's Pizza shows up as number 3. Different search, different results. Down here, in the Google results, just organic Google results, we have Flinger's, then we have Pizza Paella, and then we have Reddit about people talking about pizza, and then Tobin's, that was really strong on the pizza near me, is not number 1. They're actually now number 3 for this. So when you hire a company, or if you're doing this yourself, to do search engine optimization, you want to make sure that your even though these 2 search terms are very, very similar, and in this case we'll do, let's just do Pizza Bloomington, Illinois. And now I'm going to spell out the word Illinois, right? Now I've got 3. I have, so pretty much the same ones up here. Now we have a sponsored one up here. Tobin's back up here, number 1. So you see how just some small changes change the results. And so we want to make sure that when we're doing, let's do radon mitigation, Toledo, Ohio. Or just radon testing Toledo. So now when I do radon testing Toledo, you're going to see radon. Now it came up with a specific business, Radon Environmental Services of Toledo. You see Reliance Radon System. These two businesses are not the same. If I add Ohio, am I going to get local intent? I did not get a map pack by doing that. But also, and this is super, super, super important, if you get anything about what I'm talking about today, you need to know this. Google is being sued because even though they said that that you can look at things in incognito, you're not actually in incognito. You're still being tracked. So, of course, you're being tracked. You're always being tracked. Everything you do, everything you are, everywhere you're at. We just found out that Pokemon Go was tracking people and using all the users to collect data for the company to create probably the world's greatest like map that exists. So what they would do is, if they didn't have an area that was that had really good photos or whatever, they would go and put Pokemon things there, so people would go and take pictures and map that out for them. It's diabolically genius, but nobody paid attention to the terms and conditions, to what they were doing, and that's what happened. So Google is tracking everything you do, including where you are, what your IP is, and what you've done, and what your history is doing. So in this case, I don't live in Toledo, Ohio. So my results will be different than someone who is actually in Toledo, Ohio. And if I click on a map of Toledo, Ohio, you will see that the results up here are you might get some results from Michigan. You might get some results from Ohio. You may get some results from some of these other smaller towns. If I search from here, it's going to give me a different result. So I can search in this area, and I can just type in, let's see, close this out. I'm going to type in radon mitigation. Okay, so now notice I only have 2 different businesses that show up when I'm searching for radon mitigation here. But let's see. I'm going to just click on search this area, see if I get some more results. Okay, I get a little bit more. I'm going to come in just a little bit more, search the area, and see what I get. Okay, not getting a whole lot in this area, right? So my results are further away. Let's see. Yeah, so some of these are sort of like, whatever. We're just not getting a ton. First of all, if you are in Toledo, Ohio, or you're thinking about setting up shop somewhere, this might be a really great place to be if there's really not this business right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what it looks like if we go into if we search for this. I want to find a place that has a ton of different. Let's go to high radon area. Let's see what the radon's like in Akron. We're starting to get into mining country over here. So we got quite a few more radon guys in this area. Perfect. A to Z, radon eliminated, Akron. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, yeah, we got inspectors, we've got mitigators, we got a bunch of different guys here. And so this is kind of an odd one. What's going on here? A to Z radon services. Perfect. So Akron's going to be our place. So right now, I see like, this is my order, right? Akron radon reduction, number 1, radon eliminator, all Ohio radon, complete search inspection, the radon division, sharpshooter inspections, and radon mitigation. So depending on where, like, I would imagine that most of these guys here will do mitigation. Let's just say they'll drive within an hour, right? They're going to go all the way around here. But where I'm searching from, this is the ranking. So if I was on that first page, I would only see these first 3 businesses. So let's do this. Let's pop over into our ranking software, and we're gonna do. We're gonna find a business. We're gonna do Akron radon reduction and systems. We're gonna use them as our example. So, and did I spell how they do it? Radon reduction systems. Radon reduction. That's weird. That's not showing up. So we'll just use a different one here. Akron radon mitigation. We'll use these guys. Okay. So here we go in Akron. Right there. And we want to do radon mitigation. That's what I searched, right? If I did radon mitigators near me, that's going to give me different results, right? So I'm going to come in here, search this area for that same thing. Okay. And now we've got different results. We've got radon eliminator as number 1 and Akron radon number 2. See that it's showing up different based on the search. So we'll run this search as well, and we're going to run a heat map on those. We'll do radon testing. Okay, so that's another. We'll do all 3 of those. Now, as I mentioned, we've got. We're assuming that these guys are going to run like within an hour drive. So we're just going to assume that they're going to start here right in the middle of Akron, and then we'll go out from there about an hour. So this is going to be, and some of you have seen me do this before. It's always fun to watch this. If you happen to be in Akron, this is going to be really helpful for you. And head over to servicebooster.com. Then we have a spot on there. Get your free heat map. Fill that out. I will run this for you. I'll get you your data, and we can talk about the results. We can not talk about the results, but I want to give you an idea of where you are and how things are ranking for you in your area. So I'm running these 3 different words. They're going to be 3 separate ones. Every one of these dots are going to be as if someone is searching for radon mitigation or radon mitigators near me or radon testing from a new computer, from a new phone, in that standing on that dot, who has never searched for that before. So when I call a mitigator and I talk to a mitigator and that mitigator says, oh no, I don't need any search engine optimization because every time I search for it, I come up as number 1. And you know what? If I go in and I type in radon testing Bloomington, Illinois, what's going to come up every single time? Yeah, Miller Radon Testing. That's my company. So what comes up number 1 in search results? Miller Radon. That's my company. But I search for my own company. This one's sponsored. I can't get around that. And William Masters does not do radon testing, so I don't know why they're paying for that. I should give them a call. But I'm coming up number 1 because I searched for that. I've clicked on it. I've been to that website, and Google knows that I am, that I'm the one searching for that. So that is like, you need to go somewhere else in town, sit down at someone else's computer, grab somebody's phone. Maybe you need that in order to believe me, but you are not getting the searches that you think you are because it's coming up as number 1. This is a perfect example. I searched for Akron radon mitigation. I moved a little bit. Remember, their office was right here, and let me see if they come up as Akron radon reduction, radon mitigation. Is that the one I did? Radon mitigation. I just want to make sure I get the right one. Okay. Remember, they're right here. So their office, I think, was right here. So every time they search for it, they're coming up as number 1. However, you call me and we're setting up searches for your business, and you isolate on the map. You go, hey, this is where all the wealthy people live. They don't care what things cost. They just want the absolute best. We do the best. Well, they're coming up as number 15 here. So they're not even showing up. When they are just 5 or 10 miles down the road, they're coming up as 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So even just 5 miles from where their office is, they're showing up as number 9 and 10. So, let's say, oh, well, this is where all the Chippewa Lake, all the wealthy people live around there, and we're not even showing up. So this is why it's important. We pull this up and go, okay, well, let's look at the averages here. Number 1, radon eliminator. They're showing up. This is their result. Who's getting more phone calls? Clearly, Radon Eliminator is getting more phone calls. But Radon Eliminator calls me and says, hey, we're not ranking up here, and this is where all the money's at. Cool. Let's work on that. We can do that. Here's number 2. Akron Radon Reduction. Here's number 3. Or maybe you're one of these businesses that you're in A1 affordable inspections, and that's what it looks like for yours. And you go, I want to rank a little bit better. Or maybe you're Northeast Iowa or Ohio radon, and you want to rank a little bit better. This is where what it looks like for your. So you're right here, I'm guessing, because that's where I see a little drop of green, but you really want to work down here. Maybe you want to work in Cleveland, and we run the same thing for Cleveland. Let's use the same thing. So this one was for radon mitigation. So now we're going to come down, and we're going to look at radon mitigators near me. So this is the search term for that, radon mitigators near me. See that pull up. It's just a blank slate. Again, their office is right here. I call them and I say, hey, listen, you guys could use some help. And they go, no, we don't need help. We're number 1 on the search engine. Okay, well, you think you are, but you're really not. So this is what it looks like for them. We're going to look at their Radon Eliminator, still ranking really, really well. Here's them, but not number 1 everywhere, but still a ton of green. Radon mitigators, come down here a little bit, and now we're going to start dropping off because those 1, 2, and 3 spots are already taken. So a lot more yellow, a lot more orange, almost red in some of those areas. And finally, radon testing. Now this is going to be that one where we should see testing companies. We should see inspectors ranking higher in this. So maybe Akron Radon doesn't do testing; they only do the mitigation. So now I'm seeing sharpshooter inspections. That's a new one that's showing up, and they're getting obviously very strong up in here. Inspection. Genesis Radon is a new one that's showing up in the map, kind of sporadic results in here. So these are the things that we're looking at for the map pack. Again, it's so important that you rank where you want to work, right? So we want to get you as high up as we possibly can in that map pack, because as you remember, it's the number 1, like I just did this. It's the number 1 thing that shows up on a Google search. I have to scroll below the fold. I have to get past all of this to get down to any actual businesses, right? So you have to, that's the next step, right? So now when we get down to the next step, now we're looking at organic searches. And we can look at organic searches by doing radon mitigation, Akron, Ohio. Again, we're pulling this up. We see number 1, Genesis is coming up, but that's on my searches. So that's where I'm going to go into our search software that tracks our SEO, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to go, let's do, radon mitigation, and then I can go into Akron, Ohio. I'm going to do the DMA region, which is basically your TV region, and I already pay for the software. I do not need to pay anymore. And so now we're looking at, this is just radon mitigation. My software is telling me that I could still, if I wanted to come in and work for you, that I could come in and rank it pretty easily. I'm seeing Cincinnati Radon is ranking number 1 in the Cleveland/Akron area. If I want to do specifically Akron, Ohio, then I'm going to see a little bit different results because it's not going to give me that broad area. So now we see Radon Eliminator, so we've got ones that are a little difficult to beat out, EPA, Air Things, but then I see, businesses in here. So I want to, and that's for radon mitigation. But what are the words that people are searching for? This is where we start to go, okay, well, this is what my software is telling me, not only what they're searching for radon elimination or reduction or vent or abatement, pump system. People don't necessarily know what it means. Radon pump cost, those kinds of things. But it's also telling me approximately what I might expect to pay for that click if I wanted to run a Google ad as well. So these are the different words: suburban radon mitigation, valley radon mitigation, radon abatement system cost. So yeah, you're going to see stuff on the websites that we produce that are going to talk about the radon abatement system costs, and we might have another page that talks about the radon remediation system costs. So there are things that we're doing. So today is not necessarily like a deep, how are we going to, like, what you can do. I'm going to give you just a couple of tools and tricks and things that you can do to obviously help rank you a little bit better. These are all what you're seeing on this map pack. These are all what we call your Google business page. If you do not have a Google business page, please call me, email me before you set one up on your own, because there's such a great chance that you'll screw it up. That it's not hard to do, but Google is very specific about how they set it up. And especially if you're working from your home, or if you don't have an office, that is something that you want to take into consideration, how it's set up. So like I said, you just want to make sure that you do it correctly. This is all content once you're logged into your Google business that you can put in. Obviously, big thing, you want to try to get reviews. We've talked about that a million times on these Zooms. The importance of reviews. You can see that people are talking about some of these different things, so you want to try to get some of those words into the reviews if you can convince people to do it. And then also you're seeing some web results from the same company. So you want to make sure that your presence on the web is substantial, that you don't just have your Google page, you don't just have your own website, that you have the Google business page, that you also have a Facebook page, that you also have, in this case, there's a Better Business link, there's, sometimes Yelp. All those things help legitimize your business. You can also add photos into and so this is, this All Ohio Radon Services has added photos to their profile, to their Google page. So these are important as well. And so it allows people to see an idea of either what you do. And these photos also, make a difference on, how you're showing up. And so there's Don's North Iowa Radon. So these are all things that that show up in those searches for customers. And you want to show off your work. You want it to be work that makes sense. Maybe you want to put just a little bead of caulk around that. Maybe that's in there and I can't tell, but you don't want people to lose change down there. But yeah, I mean, you want to show off your work, you want to show off what you do, and those things are, and you want all of your information, to be accurate. So make sure that you're checking this and that people are finding your correct website, that, when we click through to it, it has, it's actually you, it's actually your business. That stuff absolutely does matter, because every once in a while I'll click on somebody's. Here's one, Black River Radon. They don't have the website is for most of these. It's up here, but on theirs it's not. As I click through to it, obviously it shows up. So, but the number one licensed and insured Ohio Radon Mitigation Company. And I usually say, it's my daughter ranks me number one. And so, I don't know, you want to make sure that people know where you are. Little things like if you have moved, you want to make sure that you have a phone number that is in the area code of the place that you want to work. I know I always feel weird about calling a business that has a area code that I don't recognize. So those are little things that also make a difference. So, but yeah, this is Ohio Radon, or Black River Radon, has got, but like this, oh, here's a video. Videos are good. Yeah. So he's got, a video on here, good photos, maybe a little bit better photo here. People don't necessarily know what this is or why it makes any sense. This doesn't make any sense to me for radon. Not sure what this is going on here. So again, just a picture of a house. Maybe this is his house, and that's why it's showing up as the street view. You also want to look at guys, take horizontal photos for your website, for Google. I know it's hard because the radon system you build is vertical, but take a few steps back and take a photo of it horizontally. Just turn your camera to the side. Makes a big difference. So, yeah, this is what's going on the on those results. You want to have, let's do radon in New Mexico. This one didn't get me. This just talks about it. But if I do mitigation, New Mexico, now I'm going to start seeing those businesses. I see some of the national stuff up here, but then down here, certifiedradonprofessionals.org. Got it. So here we got a listing from the state. So that, that's helpful. That you want to make sure that if there are directories or lists or things like that, that is another way to link back to your website. There's a lot of value to that as well. And so again, map pack up here. This is a rare time when the organic search results landed above the map pack. So we want to take advantage of all those as much as possible. So again, on your website, we start to look and see what are the things that make a website rank higher. What are the things that are in that are very simple things that you can do. Make sure on your website it says that your business name. Make sure that you list the city that you live in, the city that you work in. Those really make a difference on your ranking. Now, there's a million things that we do behind the scenes. There's software that we use. There are things that we go out and we can scrape data, and we can look and see how other websites in the area, how they're doing. If there are things that we can replicate that they're doing well, or see other businesses that aren't doing well and make sure we stay away from those things. But I mean, it's what we do. It's the same thing as you explaining to someone how to install a mitigation system. And while they may be capable of it if they spent 40 hours and 100 trips to Menards or Home Depot trying to buy the stuff, it's still not going to be the same system that you put in, day out. And so, yeah, obviously this is a pitch for the service that we provide. But there are absolutely things that you can do to increase your ranking if you're not already number one or number two, number three. There are things that you should be consistently doing. You can be adding blogs to your website, photos and content. But again, I want you to go out and be putting in mitigation systems, and I want you to pay me to do that, because it's cheaper for you to pay me to do that when the same amount of time you could be putting in a system. Plus, you get the added benefit of all the other stuff that we're doing. So that's the goal of SEO, right? You want to be the statistics don't lie that people just don't scroll. One of my favorite quotes is, where's the best place to hide a dead body? On page 2 of Google, right? No one goes to page 2 of Google and looks at these businesses unless they just absolutely could not find what they wanted on page 1. They're just not going to page 2. So we want to get you on page 1, and we get you to the top of the page. We want to get you so that you're linked and shown. And this, again, we work for all kinds of different businesses. We have a lot of guys that own Radon businesses that also own, something else, and so we do it for that other business. We work for all service providers. So anybody that's doing, we've got electricians and plumbers and roofers and pool companies and all kinds of different service-based businesses. But obviously, we are very deep in the radon world and have been for quite some time. That is the majority of our clients, and so we've got a couple minutes here left over on Zoom. We've just got we got Jordan and we've got Jim. Only J names, please, today. Only J names. I'm just checking to see if there's any comments either on YouTube or on Facebook. I'm not seeing anything that I haven't covered. So if anybody has questions or things, you can throw it in the chat. You can jump on, and I'm happy to answer questions or look at stuff for you. And but otherwise, it's just grinding, right? It's just little bits at a time. How's it going, Jordan? There you are.
Hey, Ben. How's it going?
Doing good.
Hey, sorry I jumped on late here, but yeah, I mean, I think we're probably a good case study for you at Radon Technology in the Dayton area. But I'm excited to see what we end up getting to after we get everything going with you.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass you. I don't want to show your current site.
Thank you.
But it is. There are a lot of people who've been in this business for a long time, and when they first got started in the year 2000 or whatever, they built a website and they're like, it's fine, it works, it's got my phone number on there, and now the stakes are just so much higher, and so you're responsible for so much more. And the thing that I keep telling all of my clients at Service Booster is, I want a customer to make a decision to hire you before they call you. I want your website to do the selling, and I want you to take orders. I don't want you to pick up the phone and have to explain to them for 3 hours on what you do and how you do it. That's just not time well spent. And so I want it to be your job to lose when it gets to you. You have to screw something up. The odds are in your favor. And the quality of your website, again, the ranking on Google is one thing, right? We're not even talking. We've done other seminars on here about like the websites that sell, but once they get to your website, you can have a crappy website and still rank number 1 on Google, but then they get to your website and they're like, is this company still in business? And there are some Dayton, Ohio radon websites I can show off that people would consider like, oh, hey, are they still in business? But I wish you were special, right? It's just everyone. There's so many people have bad websites, and I've seen young whippersnappers come into a location, and they've got the skills to market, and they just make that great marketing, and they blow guys that are honestly better than them out of the water, and they get a ton of business for a short amount of time, and they can't handle it, and they don't do good work, and they go out of business, and they give everybody a bad name in the industry. And it just happens over and over and over again.
What are your thoughts on Home Advisor, Angie's? I know that we paid for it for a while. You get paid per lead, and then we realized we were also then in turn getting the lead just calling us, so we had to pay for it twice. I don't know. Just want to get your general thoughts on that.
Yeah. I think I mean, I'm not going to make a lot of, friends at Angie's List and Home Advisor, but I think they're the mob. I think they are literally, in the mobster movies and in real life, the liquor store has bought a truckload of cigarettes to sell, and the mob robs the cigarette truck on the way to the liquor store. Now, the liquor store has already paid for the cigarettes. They've spent that money. They put the order in. The cigarettes are on their way. The mob robs the cigarette truck on the way, and then the mob drives the cigarette truck up to the liquor store and says, hey, we've got these cigarettes to sell you. They're literally taking something that you've already paid for that was already on its way to you, and they have figured out a way to extract even more money out of you. And they have done this, and they are not, again, they're not special. I used to be in the wedding industry for a long time. There's a company, there are a few companies. There's The Knot, there's Wedding Wire. If anyone has gotten married in the last 15 years, you recognize one of those two names. They are the same thing. They invested hundreds of millions of dollars into creating a directory nationwide that has everyone playing their game. And they come to our conferences and they make you feel good about, oh, hey, we're supporting your conference and we're doing this partnership. But the fact is that they have been taking a disproportionate amount of money for the lead that they provide for. And there is a company in the storage unit industry that literally they will get you a lead, and if you book that lead, you have to give them the first 3 months of the storage unit. So if you've got a $250 a month storage unit, they expect $750 for that lead. And on the 4th month, you make money. Because they know that they have been doing this for a certain amount of time. They know that the average storage unit purchase is 9 months. So they're like, well, you're going to get paid for 4 through 9. And if you do your job and you're really nice and you don't, and you lock people into a long contract, you'll get even more than that. And so, but they are also, and this is what I talk about the cigarette truck. That storage unit, advertising, marketing directory, whatever, they go into Google Ads and they are bidding up all of the local businesses that are buying ads. And so they are buying. So if I'm saying, well, geez, I'm willing at $750 for, a lead or for a closed deal, gosh, I'll pay $100 on Google Ads per click, because I could get 7 clicks and still spend less than that. I could pay $50 a click or $25 a click, and I'm saving a ton of money. So that company comes in and bids it up and bids it up. So they're always the number one click. Does not matter how much money, because they know they can get that. So does Angie's List and Home Advisor get a ton of leads? Yes, absolutely. If you don't want to do the work to rank your website, to be on the top of Google, if you don't want to build a business that includes marketing and trade, trademarks and things and content and a website that you can then sell to someone else. And we've talked about this with David Smith. David Smith ran his business for 20 years. He started his wholesale company, and his foreman, Dan, had been working for him for 18 years. David hadn't been on a job in a long time. He'll go out and bid stuff, but Dan did all of the work. and he built up a business, and they have their name and their sticker and their phone number on tens of thousands of mitigation systems in our area, and that has a value. The phone number itself has a value. The website on the sticker has a value. So if you don't want to do that, then get on Angie's List and give them 20% of every job you do. That's okay. It is an easy way to get business. The only problem, that's not the only problem. A major problem with Angie's List is that 10 other people are getting that same lead. And so you are fighting other people for that same lead. So have I done this? Yes. There are mitigators who don't want to they don't want to run that. They don't want to have the website. They don't want to have thing. They just want to get the phone calls. They have a business name, but they don't want all that other stuff. And so I will come into there and I will act like an Angie's List, and I will rank a website to the top of that area in, Toledo, Ohio, or whatever. And then those calls come in, and then I'm just going to have a set amount that I'm going to go, hey, listen, I'm sending you 10 leads a month. I'm expecting that you're going to close 4 of them. Your average job is going to be, $1,500 a job. Your average profits, say $800, a job on that. You're getting 4 times 8, that's $3,200. I'm going to charge you $1,500 a month, right? And so now I have the asset, it's mine, but you are the only person getting those leads. So that is an option with me. But you don't own the asset. I do. You go out of business. I have a website that ranks in that town. I'm just going to call another mitigator, and I'm going to do the same deal. But I'm different from Angie's List in the way that I am not. I'm not selling that to 10 different people, because I don't want. I want people to. And then when I rank the website, I'm putting that business's name on there. It's not just like, Toledo Radon. I'm actually putting, whatever the name of the business is. It's just not their website. And so that is an option for people who don't want to really commit. It's not the best option, but it's a way of getting leads into people's hands and taking it from those gigantic directory ones, which just drive me nuts. So
we did have somebody reach out to us, I think, that was basically doing that.
Yeah.
They said, hey, listen, you fit the profile that we are advertising on our website. So we want to partner with you and give you our leads.
Yeah.
So they weren't even actually a company themselves. Yep. They had a ranked website and wanted to sell that to us, basically. Leads.
Yes. The terminology for that is called rank and rent. So I am renting you a website. It is no more. It's digital real estate. So it's the same as me going out and purchasing a $200,000 house, $300,000 house, and renting it out to a family. I still own it. They rent it, and when they leave, I find another family to put into it. So I'm still doing all the work that I do for the people that hire me to do it. So the difference is when Radon Technology hires me, I am doing all that work on your behalf. When you and I part ways, you get everything that I have done, and I have nothing. So obviously, it's very important to me to prove my salt every month, so that I keep you as a client for the rest of time, right? Because that's my business model. If I don't do that, then obviously every single month I've got to prove that those things are coming through. That's why you're seeing the tracking number. That's why you're seeing the lead, the dashboard, and you're seeing the results as those come in. Then I'm like, hey, listen, I'm doing this. This is happening because of me. This is the stuff that you can see. The ranking is because of what I'm doing. But yeah, it's what was happening, and I'll just like to get into it. A lot of people were going out and getting those Google business pages, and the company didn't exist. So they were going out and they were getting a GBP, and it was a fake company. And there were businesses that were doing hundreds, if not thousands, of these. And never ever forget that Google is a business and Google has customers. Google's customers are people who use Google. They're not people who that pay them to do it. That's the byproduct. I mean, that's how they make money. But if they don't have those things, right, then there's no money, right? So what was happening was people were clicking on these fake websites and these fake, things, and Google's like, we're cracking down on this. So they have started to go through and really suspend those and knock those off. So now if you're working with a company that does that and they're not doing it on your behalf, but they own the asset, then there's a potential that one day that just may all go away. So the real benefit is to do what we're doing now, which is I'm just going to come in and I'm going to manage all that marketing content for you, and make sure that it's your stuff, your content, your that's getting ranked up. It's your domain. I have Radon guys who are like, well, I'm just getting started. Will you go out and buy the domain? I'm like, no, you do not want me to own your domain. If you and I have a bad divorce, right? Now, I hope people who have gotten to know me, watching these videos, they can assume my level of ethics. You can assume, but there are absolutely people in my industry. Literally, I could buy a new house if I had $10 for every marketing company that I've had to go in and try to get their the domain or the website from them and try to get access to it, and they've just either gone completely out of business or they know that they're not making money anymore from this client, so now they've just they're ignoring them. So that is maybe I need to do a seminar on just who should you hire, right? But it is one of those things where, yeah, I mean, at Arst in Orlando, there were 3, 4, 5 of us, give or take, and really only there's really only one other business that I know well, and I would trust them as well. It's going to come down to, hey, listen, I'm getting my house mitigated. Should I go with you? Should I go with you? You use this fan. I use this fan. I think you're more like me. You're more like me. I like your team. I like your team. Whatever it is, right? Both are able to do the job and do it well. And people jump back and forth between, ongoing business. But yeah, I mean, I don't know the other businesses that were ours. One of them being Angie's List. Obviously, I do know them. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'll say this: those of us that are showing up at ours, including Angie's List, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We are the companies that are showing up and supporting the industry, right? So there are tens of thousands of people that do what I do. There are thousands that do it well. There are hundreds that you might want to hire, but there are 5 of us that showed up to Arst, right? So, gosh, don't go with me. Go with somebody that else was there. That that like these are the people, right? We're supporting the industry. We care about it. This is important to us, and obviously it matters when you're hiring someone who is dialed down into a niche and they understand it. So that is something that matters as well. So let's see. Other questions? What do you think, Jordan?
So, yeah, I can just tell you from our experience, it really rubbed us wrong when we got a call from somebody that was like, hey, you fit our profile. We made this website that says we're a family-owned business. We're a family-owned radon mitigation company. And it's like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It was crazy to us. We were like, what in the world is this? And it's just because they had the ranking on Google and they made a fake website and they said, we're just looking for contractors in our area that fit this profile, that are family owned, and yeah, it was.
I'm pulling it up right now just to see if
Oh
I
no,
can if I can find it. But
I don't
it's
know if it's still on there or not.
I'll tell
But
you this: the general the MO is business name, city name. So like radon mitigation DaytonOhio.com, like, and it's ranking number 1, and
yeah, exactly.
usually I can, it's the terminology like you said, it fits the profile. I can tell you what, because I'm in these groups. I'm I am in an agency mastermind that I pay way too much money for every month, that I am in. Like these guys that are in this are huge agencies that are really doing really really good things, and I'm in these groups to learn to do what they do, and to share what works well for me and what I do, but a lot of those people 4 5 years ago came from this rank and rent industry, so they are all like really deep into it. But if I look at this guy, I go, okay, radon mitigation, learn more, maybe stock photo. This could be it right here. Like this could be it.
What's the company name?
It just says radon mitigation, Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I mean, it's. Yeah, and I just realized that you sitting in Zoom. Oh no, I guess you are seeing my screen there. Okay, yeah. When it comes to, here's some factors to make your choice. So some of this is like Chat GPT, right? So look for professional certified by ARST. They're not actually like you don't see like an ARST logo on here. So this is it. This is a rank. This is a number 1 rank of, and I could probably go through and I could take this and I can go into my software and and so this is what I do. I go in and then I say, listen, hey, I'm going to somehow get to the main page. I'm going to analyze I clicked on the wrong one. I'm going to go in and see what this company's doing, and what kind of backlinks they're doing. What are the pages that they have in there? So we're going to use our software to go through and find out what it took for them to get to number 1. And so, but also when I clicked on this, did that come up as a? I was looking to see, and there you guys are. But again, I've clicked on your website a bunch. So the question is did this one show up as Dayton radon testing and mitigation? And this is the other go-to one here. It's a Weebly website. That's one of the things they teach you to do, is to set up a website that doesn't. So this is somebody that's created. They call them a one-page website. You come in, they try to rank this up to number 1, and then from there they get you paying for it. They get the leads coming in. Again, I mean, it's these are leads. But this here, this Dayton radon testing and mitigation is not a real business in your area. This is a fake Google business page. Someone who lived in Dayton, Ohio, could actually click on this, and you could actually report this as a fake business. And I mean, I'm not going to do that, but if you lived in Dayton, you could actually, and if it mattered to you, you could actually report that. And they're cracking down on that. So yeah, you probably don't want to be competing against businesses that aren't necessarily real businesses. So for what it's worth, just throwing lots of options out there. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas? Nothing. We will be back next week, barring there are no major holidays or things happening. I have to look at the calendar. This is the time of year where please don't be surprised if all of a sudden we say we're not doing this on a Wednesday, because anybody that is doing anything in the month of December, they know that there are a million kids concerts and there are a million festivals and events and things, and so they just appear on the calendar, and the more stuff you're involved in. But as always, if there are things that you want us to talk about, I know that we are hoping here to get a couple of special guests in before the end of the year. But that's just a fingers crossed hope and dream. So, but otherwise, I feel like I need to turn down my microphone. I feel like it's too loud. I want to make sure that we, if people have questions or things they want to talk about, that, that's what we're here for. So I'm going to pop off and get back to launching some websites in the Dayton, Ohio area. So we will see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for everybody who watches this later and calls me in the middle of the week and said I watched it, but I didn't watch it live. We know you're watching it. We appreciate it, and we'll see you. We'll see you in next week, next Wednesday. Thanks. Bye.